Hey, Christopher here with another episode of What's Brewing. We're sitting down with Hollie from Tons in Broussard for part 2 of our interview with her. But before we get into this video, let's roll that beautiful B-roll. Hollie, thank you so much for sitting down again to talk about your restaurant.
Hey, thanks for being here.
So it's multi-generational. We mentioned that last time. So your grandfather, grandmother started the restaurant. When did you start getting involved, managing, owning? What was that process like?
Well, it's my dad's parents. Alton and Rosemary opened the business. My dad, Carl. And my mom, Juanita, who was from Brobridge, moved here when she was 16, got a job here at Tons Drive-In. Parents fell in love. And then, so they ran the restaurant for a couple decades. And then right before the pandemic is when I kind of started taking over. Wow,
that's a tough time to get involved.
Yeah, you know, but that's why, maybe the timing was right. So I've been running around here since I was little. I'd wipe trays when my grandparents opened it. My favorite thing was like stamping the backs of checks before my grandmother deposited them back in the day. And so I used to, you know, they'd let me wipe tables, fill drinks when I was growing up. And then in high school, I started managing and on Saturdays. And so I worked here during summer. So, you know, I went to school across the street for a little while in elementary. So I'd walk here after school, hang out with my parents. We used to be open until 9 at night. So it wasn't just 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. It was, I think at that time, it was probably 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow.
So it was a long day. So sometimes I'd be here with my parents.
Hanging out.
Yeah, I grew up in this building.
Wow. Taking over during the pandemic, that was unprecedented. How scary, how difficult, how did y'all pivot during that time?
I feel like no one really knew what was happening, so it was very stressful. We did shut down for about almost a month maybe in the beginning, just so we could assess the situation, figure out what was expected of us, what was safe for my employees or my customers, because we do have, I mean, everyone has family, so everyone knows someone with a compromised system, so we really just try to be mindful of taking care of each other because this is a family business. Not only am I third generation, but my managers are both third generation too.
Wow.
Their grandmother worked with my mother, their mother with my mother. So I think it's really important, and we have so many great old-timer customers, and we really wanted to take care of, you know, just be mindful of what was going on, and we had no idea what was going on. So we just, you know, we did drive-through business for a long time. We had what I say was like our Chick-fil-A line, like down the block, many days. Wow. And it was stressful and it was hot in the summer, but you know, we just we car hopped and, you know, ran it as quickly as we could.
You know, I think that's the challenge of being a business owner. You don't know what things are going to come up and affect your business. And it doesn't matter how long you've owned a business because things change and we have to adapt. How much have you felt like you've had to adapt? Because we talked in the last episode that a lot of things have not changed here. How much have you had to adapt as the city, Broussard's continuing to grow? That's a wonderful thing from a certain perspective. That's also challenging from another. How have you had to pivot with all the changes, you know, taking leadership, taking the ball and run with it now that you're, you know, running the day-to-day?
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of it is staying true to ourselves. So sometimes we don't pivot when other people do. I've gotten calls fussed at that our drive-through line takes too long, but I'm not going to be rude to an old person who's never been here who wants us to explain some of the menu to them. Or, you know, I got an alcohol license during the pandemic so that we could kind of supplement a little bit of income because you do make more money off of alcohol. We don't sell much. I mean, we close at 2, but the ladies on Saturdays like a mimosa, and we have plenty of those. So we, you know, we learn to grow where we need to. And I think sometimes when other people go one way, I think we don't need to change because we're doing it and it's fine and we're still in business and people still love us.
Every time I've eaten here, and I like saying this and being honest to say it, I've never had a bad experience.
Thanks.
Now, some business owners, well, you know, and I'm like, no, really, because the people do take the time, they listen, they suggest things, they're patient, they care. I remember, I don't know who it was, we were in the back, I brought the whole staff here, and they stopped by and they just chit-chatted with us. And I'm like, it's taking the time to be social and be friendly. And those are things that you don't get necessarily at other places. Yeah. And that's part of, I think, when you're pivoting, sometimes you have to pivot for good reasons and you expand, you grow, and it makes sense. There's certain things in my business that I won't change. People have asked us for text-based support. You know how convenient it is? We won't do it. For mental health reasons, to keep my staff, you know, boundaries and whatnot, I just won't do it. And as we've gotten a lot of pressure, but we've said that the health of my staff emotionally is more important than our general availability. We have methods to be reached. So I get that, because even as a young business, there are some things that we figured out. This is who we are. This, you know, you're gonna come to us on these terms, and we're gonna do great for you in this sort of way that we're doing it. And if you're looking for something else, there's lots of other choices, but don't go to them. Come here.
Well, I say that we are a family business in so many senses. Not only is this a family business generationally, but a lot of my employees are sisters. I have 3 sets of sisters. I have one couple. One of them is an aunt to 2 of the, you know, like a lot of relating. Yeah. And I also say we will treat you like family. We are human and we'll mess up sometimes. So you might leave happy and you might leave mad, but it's like a total family experience. That's what you would get at your parents' house too. You might leave angry one day.
Well, with that being said, we'll wrap up here. It's hearing why you started, or your family started it, is the same way you're treating it now. Your family love to serve meals, inviting people into your home. You know, when we interviewed Tim's Kitchen, that's the vibe. He's like, it's like you're coming into my kitchen. And I feel like there's a reason why I love y'all's businesses so much, because I feel like when you serve, you're involved, right? You're coming and deliver, and you gave me beignets one day for free. I can't eat them much, but I did eat a bite and they were delicious. But like those kind of things are what make, I think, these are things that count that can't be counted. I can't put a monetary value, I can't quantify it with a spreadsheet, but these are the aspects of a business that we want to sit down with you and talk in person about it, because that is the impression that we felt. And I wanted to understand a little bit more about it, why selfishly, and for others to hear about it, who are potentially future business leaders, you know, future entrepreneurs saying, oh, I want to make it big. I would say to that person, you know, make it a great experience.
Yeah. Also, don't run a restaurant if you want to make it big. Bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea. If you're trying to make money, go into some other business. There are other things you can do. Well, Hollie, thank you so much for sitting down for both of these interviews. They were just informative and fantastic.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate you.
Yeah, this is great. Well, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the videos we're producing every single week. As always, we hope you're doing well, we hope you're staying safe, and we'll see you in the next one.